I grew up with my brother Bill in my grandparents' house in High Point, North Carolina. We lived in Burns Hill, one of the poorest of the colored neighborhoods in town. White folks had homes along paved streets. Blacks lived where the pavement ended. Our humble wood-frame bungalow was located at 1309 East Commerce Street, where there was neither commerce nor a street. The hill was mostly peaceful in my 1940s boyhood, but it was not a place that inspired much hope. Families were from the working poor. Most scraped by on skimpy earnings, but they took care of each other, sharing what little they had, because serving others was how we all survived. One day when I was not yet 10 years old, a man reeking of sour wine and wet garbage walked up to our porch. I was sitting on our house's wooden front steps, and my mama, my grandmother, was in her chair on the porch. The man stood at the bottom of the steps, unsteady on his feet and red-eyed, but cautious and respectful. "I ain't had nothing to eat for 2 days, Miss Nellie," he said. "I don't have no money to buy food." I stood up, suspicious of the beggar and protective of my grandmother. But Mama had no fear of him. "Come on in here, boy," she said to the man. He climbed the stairs with surprising speed, followed her into the house, and took a seat at the kitchen table. Mama went right to work. She broke off chunks from a huge pan of homemade bread and dished up a bowl of hot beans. The man ate until his belly stopped growling. Then he let fly a roaring belch, stood up from the table, gently placed his bowl in the sink, and said, "I sure do appreciate it, Miss Nellie. The Lord will bless you." Mama turned from the sink and sighed. The man had to know he was in for one of her church lectures, but no doubt he'd figured the meal would be worth it. "Do the right thing now, and get your life straight," Mama told him, looking him in the eye. "Go to church on Sunday, and your life will change for the better." He bowed his head, accepting his penance, and then made his way out the door and down the steps with newfound energy. Mama washed his bowl and returned to her chair on the porch. I took my place on the steps. After a while, I gathered the courage to say what was on my mind. "Mama, why on earth do you give our food to these people who spend their days and nights drinking and sleeping in the street, when you and Daddy and Bill and me work so hard to put it on the table?" My question must have touched something in her. Mama waved for me to come up and sit in the chair with her. When I'd settled in, she told me a story from the Bible, of the time when Jesus knocked on someone's door for help, but they turned him away because he was dressed in rags. "If I never teach you anything else," she said, "I want to teach you that one thing. You never know which way the Lord will come to you. He will test you to see if you follow his teachings. So life is all about giving, sharing, and serving others. If you give whatever you can, the Lord will give you more than you will ever need. He will take you up so high you won't believe it." Mama was wound up. I listened as a life's worth of lessons poured out of her. "Son, you don't have to be rich to give. We aren't rich, but we had food in the pot today. The Lord provided that food, and he provided it to me so I could share it with others. He gave us enough to share. That's what you should do with your life, Bobby. Whatever you get, make sure you try to help somebody else with it, because the Lord gives it to you so you can give it to somebody else."